What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very good day today, because today is episode 2 of March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2, episode 2. So, Gotou. Gotou is one of the big focuses of this episode. Now, just to do a quick reminder, if you have forgotten, because it has been a while since, Season 1 aired, and I understand with all the anime that comes out with each season, and so many other things that probably can happen in everyday life, obviously you could forget a couple of details. And in this case, Gotou, who he is a character, which we did get a brief little flashback once again to stuff that happened in the prior season, but if you've forgotten, you have to Gotou, he is someone that Rei really, really hates. Like, he straight up hates this man. Like, he legit does not like Gotou whatsoever. Not just because of the fighting and getting, beat up and all that, but the fact that he feels like his sister, Kyoko, is getting used by him. And that Kyoko, since she's just so emotionally damaged, that he feels like she is actually harming her own self, her own well-being, while hanging out around him. And so, he wanted to try to protect her, which in turn caused that little dispute in the episode when you see them, having like a fist fight, and Goto's, beating him up. Basically, he was trying to protect his sister. For instance, Rei was trying to protect his sister Kyoko. Even though she's been awful, absolutely cruel, a heinous individual, he still was trying to be nice to her. And in this case, that's what led to that entire conflict, that drama there, and led to a lot of the problems throughout Season 1 of March Comes In Like a Lion. But anyways, this episode tries to show a different side to Gotou, a side that we have not seen, and get to see for ourselves, is he truly the disgusting scumbag that we all thought he was? And in this case, I still think he is, but at the same time, he's a little bit more likable, but he's still a really bad person overall. And I will get into that. So, Gotou, as we see from this episode, he has a very, very difficult life outside of shogi. He has a wife, he has his own family, but apparently his wife is bedridden in some form of coma. She's very sick. I'm assuming it's a coma and she's just not waking up. And in this case, basically, him being so desperate, vulnerable, probably led him to do some of the actions he has done in the past. Now, I'm not defending the man. I'm not defending him whatsoever. However, this is how humans are, what we do. Everybody, one point in their life, they reach a point of weakness. They reach a point to where they're at the bottom, and they seek comfort. We, as human beings, seek comfort. And in this case, most likely what happened, just to doing an educated guess, his wife ended up in the hospital. He was very desperate, very sad, didn't know what to do. And just after much time has passed, like a lot of time and all of that, being sad, angry with life probably, not knowing what to do, he probably eventually encountered, Kyoko, and in a way, he took advantage of her, but she took advantage of him, his weakness, and he fell to loneliness and being vulnerable, which in turn probably caused something that happened in the past, some form of affair. And like I said, I'm not defending the man whatsoever. He still had a decision. At the end of the day, he had a decision to make. And he made his own decision. And that's what has led to some of the consequences throughout Season 1. And probably what we're going to get from Season 2. However, though, this episode tries to show a more human side to him. Showing what led to some of his actions. And in this case, looking at the backstory with the flashback and all that with Rei and Gotou, we can assume that Rei probably picked the fight first. He probably ran up to Gotou and probably tried to start swinging at him, beating him up, and then Gotou retaliated and probably beat the crap out of, Gotou. So when you look at it, Gotou, in a way, he's justified. He's justified for his actions in the fist fight. I mean, he is an adult in a way, yes, so I don't actually approve of an adult doing that to, like, a kid, but at the same time, though, he was defending himself. It was kind of self-defense. Now, he probably took it too far. He probably took it too far, which leads into another side. For instance, his anger. Remember, he's been going through a lot. And after probably what he did with, Kyoko, being vulnerable and all that, he probably realized how much he messed up. And then he was probably very angry. Extremely angry. And so, his only venting point was Rei at the time. And that's probably what led to that situation. That's just me assuming. I'm just assuming right now because I'm just looking at it from an actual real perspective of why some would do some of these actions in real life. In this case, I believe that's what happened. Regardless, though, Gotou, he shows in this episode, in present time, that he clearly doesn't want to be in a relationship with Kyoko, or at the very least in an affair, or a sexual relationship with her. That's what this episode tries to show. Regardless, though, something clearly did happen in the past, because you could see that she actually wanted to get into his room really, really badly. And we can see by the interaction and all that, something had to have happened in the past. And she even goes to try to get into his bed. And when she does get into his bed, he actually ties her up, for she will not do anything to him while he's unconscious or asleep. So it shows that clearly something did happen. However, the actions right there of what he did, even though he's trying to encourage her to get away from him, cut this and stop this altogether, he still didn't completely stop it. So he's still once again giving in to some of his weaknesses. And Kyoko, since she's already a broken person, a very, very broken person, and she's poisoned in a way, she's also taking advantage of Gotou. And so they're both doing it to each other. And in this way, when you see the bedroom scene, even though nothing was going on over 18 plus, it's still a very suggestive scene. It lets us know that clearly something has had to happen in the past. Because she was still, at the end of the day, laying in his bed, and he was hugging her for comfort in the middle of the episode when he was asleep. So it does show that something clearly did happen in the past. So if you denied it or didn't think it happened, there you go. And like I said, I'm not saying Gotou is in the right at all. I'm not saying he is. However, it was a moment of weakness, and most likely he's going to try to overcome this. And Rei needs to try to overcome his issues with the man, which will probably take a lot. And I feel like the way this arc is shaping up, it's probably going to be an arc of forgiveness. Like, it's just straight up forgiveness and moving on. I feel like that's what this is. Rei is already learn how to make friends, interact with friends, and do things that he never used to do at all. But now I think his next step is to be able to let go of some of the things, let go of the problems from his past, or what people has caused him trouble, or drama, or whatever. He needs to be able to move past this, and I feel like that's the next step for his character, or what probably Season 2 is going to be about. Anyways, let's talk about the shogi stuff, since I've already talked about Gotou enough. So, the shogi stuff in this episode, overall, I want to state what I said many times in my Season 1 reviews. If I understood shogi, like if I was like an expert at it, or if I comprehended the overall aspect of the game, like knew what everything was going on, the different pieces and all that, I believe I would truly appreciate this episode a lot more. At the very least, the shogi aspect. I would probably be fangasming and say this is amazing if I was watching this episode and I have a decent comprehension of the game, but I don't. And so sadly, a lot of the things that happened in this episode when it came to the shogi part, right over the head. Now, that's not a bad thing, because it's very understandable, even without understanding shogi, that clearly you have it to where, Soya, he's actually very, very far above all of the others. I mean, being able to plan out that far ahead, being able to play, like, 4-dimensional chess, or 4-dimensional shogi in his mind, my bad, 4-dimensional shogi in his head, and overcoming, like, anything in his way, shows how much of an expert he is, and how gifted he is at the game. So, just very impressive stuff overall. I wish I had a better understanding of all of this, but it still was very impressive nonetheless. Now, let's get into, Nikaido. So, Nikaido, I'm really glad to see him back. He's a character that I know many might not like too much, because he can get rather annoying. He can, and I'm not denying that. He is a character that you can easily dislike, because of his attitude, the way he interacts with, our main character. Just overall, he's the type of character that can get very annoying. And even though some might be annoyed by his character, I really like him. I think he's a really cool character, and there's, like, some perfect chemistry between him and Rei. Nikaido and Rei just have this, like, perfect chemistry. They're both a little bit different from each other, and since Nikaido's just so aggressive, and he wants to do things, he wants to go, it fits with Rei's personality of wanting to be very passive, shy, and not really doing much. I just love how these two balance each other out, and so I'm glad to have him back. I'm glad to see, him in this series being a little bit more focused, and we might even have a match between him and Rei in the upcoming Season 2, or the rest of Season 2. We might have, like, a finals match, a title match between these two, which I'm looking forward to if that does indeed happen. So that's about it. I mean, the episode overall for March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2, Episode 2, was very simple, but still a very good episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you love my content, please subscribe. And if you love this video, please leave a like. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.